Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Ryder Sigety. I'm a 5-time national GNCC champion and a part of the Yamaha factory support off-road team. I'm going to show you a little bit of the transfer section. We're here at the Sumter National Enduro 2026, first national enduro of the year, and this is the transfer to the first section. I'm on road 35, and you see in the top left of your screen is my stats for each section. So I got 4th in class and 19th overall for this first section, and I'm in AA now, so that is the class below pro. I guess it was the first class below pro. And yeah, off the gate, early in the morning, going quick. I'm also here with my dad, Mike Sigety. Dad.
Hi everyone. If you've been watching our videos for a while, you know I pretty much say this every video. Ryder, it's a factory Yamaha AmPro support team.
Alright, yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. You'll get it right one of these videos.
So I'm going to show you a little bit of some trail from each section and a couple passes, and I'm not sure if you know how the enduros work, but we'll explain that a little bit as well. But most of this race is going to be single track, but man, I feel like all the riding looks so fast, and there's a bunch of lines all over the woods, and you're also going to see the terrain changes a lot. But that being said, the conditions were perfect today. It wasn't muddy anywhere, and I didn't see any dust anywhere either. I know on the roads there was a little bit of dust, but for the most part, I mean, you could just look, the dirt is like this nice, perfect black dirt, and road 35 was awesome. Most of the track was pretty much broken in enough. Honestly, I feel like maybe a couple rows back farther would have been better, but it was really great day all day. It was, the conditions were perfect.
Yeah, it was really, really great. They actually had snow during the week and it all melted.
I don't know if you guys just saw me throwing my hand up in the air, like, what are you doing? Also, I took this line here. I thought this was a good line. I don't know if you guys saw me throwing my hand up in the air, and that is because my visor, I forgot to tighten my visor, and it kept getting kicked down this entire moto, or this entire section, and then I forgot to tighten it, and it was getting pushed down the second section as well, so I kept having to raise my visor because I felt like I was distracted by how low it was.
Yeah, this is a rude awakening here because, as most people on the East Coast would know, we haven't been able to ride. Most people haven't been able to ride in a long time, but especially here in the Northeast. The last time he rode was Georgia, which was probably, I mean, we released the video a week later, so last time you really rode was like almost 4 weeks ago. To get on the bike and get right out of the gate and go wide open like that has got to be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, thankfully we did have that little bit of a transfer section coming into the first section, which was good. Usually they just send us down a little bit of whooped out road, but this time it was kind of like a little bit of trail. I don't know if you noticed that at the beginning, but it was only I don't know, a little less than half a mile of trail, so it really didn't warm me up much at all. What I liked about Sumter this year, though, a lot more than other years, there was almost no transfer sections at all. And also, I'm just kind of making my way through here, through people here, and I'll let you listen. I was screaming and yelling, but everybody was, for the most part, pretty good about moving out of the way, which is good as well. Thank you. Yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, I really like not having a lot of transfer sections because it almost felt like a US sprint enduro where you're really just on your time sections. Like I've done many enduros where we'll do 85 miles maybe in the day, but we're only racing for 50 or 55, you know? So I thought it was cool that pretty much all of the riding and racing today was just done racing.
Yeah, as soon as you came out of one section, it was like 1 mile approximately to the beginning of the next section. Plus, what's really great about Sumter is pit crews can go to each section after you come out, so that's really nice too. Ryder was supposed to have some pretty fast people on his line at this race, and I was a little disappointed to see they didn't show up. I think Brandy Richards maybe, and somebody from the FTR series in Florida who's I think leading the series right now. So there were supposed to be some good battles, but for some reason they didn't show up. I think there was last time I looked, which was days before, like 4 or 5 days before this enduro, there was 823 entries, and a lot of people do sign up the day of, which is a little crazy. So they probably again get about 850 people at this enduro, which is really insane, but it's worth it. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and it's beautiful every year like that. That was a good line, Ryder.
Yeah, thank you. And I was kind of saying this to an extent, and I know it's different for each section and every piece of trail. Every 10 rows you get back, the trail probably gets about 5 seconds slower because of how much more beat up it gets, but it also probably gets around 5 seconds faster because of the new lines. You see me trying to make new lines here. Sometimes they don't work out, like that one was just completely out of the way. But I feel like 35 was a good row for the most part. I think maybe some sections a little farther back would have been good. And last year, and I didn't understand this until actually after we signed up, but the pros used to run in the 30 rows and like pretty much from row 25 I would say to 45. But this year they don't start the pros until row 40. So definitely weird not being able to have any pros on the line with me or even around the line on row 40 or on row 34. But right in front of me, this is actually a girl, and she is ripping through the woods on this 85 or big wheel. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but she was going good. And then also on the row in front of me was Rivers Morris and Travis Lentz. And Travis Lentz, I forget exactly how he did, but I know he did very well last year in Super Minis at GNCC, and he's now moved up to a big bike. And I was really excited to be able to push with those guys and try to catch them. I didn't expect to be able to catch Rivers at all, and I know this isn't Rivers' expertise. He's a GNCC guy, but it was great. Here's Rivers Morris right here. And then Travis Lentz and I actually went back and forth, not back and forth, but every single moto or every single section was so close, our times. Like, I'd get to the end of the section and I'd go over to my dad's phone and be like, oh, how'd I do against Travis? Because also a lot of it is we finish a section and somebody in my class might not finish that section. Oh, look at me slide through the trees here. You got to be careful. I don't know if you noticed those vines, but my dad will talk about that.
Yeah, the vines are super scary. I mean, you just take one little turn like he did and you try to get back on, you get a vine caught up, you cannot get through it. We have a friend who got clotheslined by a vine, and it scarred his neck so bad that he has a permanent keloid scar across his neck. It looks terrible. I feel so bad for him. He's basically gonna have to wear a beard for the rest of his life, or he's gonna have this big red scar. So yeah, those vines are really dangerous down here. Not so much to get you hurt, which they definitely can, but to just ruin your day.
Yeah, no, I'm always worried that I'm going to be riding and the vine's just going to catch my bike and just throw it back at me or something. Oh yeah, completely blew past that turn, and there's some more of those vines. There was a lot of turns like that this weekend where I felt like, oh, here's the end of section 1, and then we're going to travel to section 2, which was less than a mile away. It was so close. And unfortunately, my camera decided not to record section 2. Started the camera, it just didn't work. But here's section 3. You see everybody's taking off early, and that was the line in front of me. I got 5th in my class for this section and 21st overall. Look at how quick I take out of the gate. I just felt like that first straightaway was super quick, and this was one of my favorite sections. I think I pushed, I forget if it's...
There's our Pepin.
Yeah, our Pepin photography.
Off-road paparazzi if you're looking for pictures.
I forget if it was 3rd or 4th section that I did the best in. Well, I guess not. I just said I got 21st overall. But either way, I think this section or the 4th section was definitely my favorite. I was pushing hard.
So what was your best section score and your overall finish for the day?
I don't know.
You did race this race, right?
Yeah, I don't remember the results.
All right, 15th was your best. I'm sorry, 14th was your best overall section, I think. 14th or 15th, so I guess I don't know. But I know it was definitely 17th overall for the day, which is amazingly good at a national, especially on a new bike. Congratulations, kid. I'm so proud of you. And please, like, subscribe, and comment would help riders so much if you could do that.
Yeah, definitely. It mean a lot, guys. One thing I was a little disappointed by this year, and it's really not a big detail at all, but every year we come to Sumter, I feel like we always get to ride through a section of burnt woods. Like, I feel like every year I get to ride through a section where they just did a controlled burn, and it's just cool. There's still like smoldering ashes everywhere, and all the trees are super burnt up, but there was nothing like that this year. And one of the problems with it is that there was pine needles every time you went off the course, so it got a little slick, where when they burn it up, it kind of all turns into like a soily dirt mixture, so you really don't have to worry about getting like slippery or slick when you go off the course. Wow, I can't talk because I'm so concentrated on watching my own video. I just feel like it looks really cool right now.
It is pretty crazy, and we forgot actually the GoPro with the fisheye lens, which really looks even good. And if you look at Ryder's bar pad, to the left of the bar pad is a watch holder, but it's not there. Why not, Ryder?
Yeah, I did not put my watch on the watch holder like I normally do, and I've never had a problem actually with the watch on my wrist either, but I also don't normally race national enduros, so having the watch on my wrist, I smashed a tree and completely destroyed the front of the watch. You guys will be able to see in the later motos after I put it on the handlebars. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's fine, it's just a screen protector probably. Oh, look at this guy turns, gets out of the way. I thought he was gonna turn back into the trail, but like I said, I thought it was just a screen protector. Took off the screen protector was fine, didn't even get scratched, but the watch is destroyed.
And what is that thing on the right of your bar pad that has like all that type information on it?
Yeah, on the right of the bar pad, it's the route sheet of the day, so it tells me how long each section is and what time I need to be at each section. So super useful after I finish a section and I need to go get gas or I need to change, I don't know, my camelback, to know how long I'm gonna have. Here's Rivers Morris again, and fuel up with some Hare nutrition. I need to know, how long I have to do that before I need to get to the next section.
Wow, that's a really tight section there. That looks cool.
I remember one time on my 85, I got stuck. I hit a tree and just got wedged in between a couple of trees in a section like this. And there was like a pro behind me, and he was revving his bike, and I couldn't move the bike, and I was freaking out.
Yeah, it's definitely a new experience for a kid on an 85. So how many total miles of racing did you do today?
A little under 60. I think the whole race was like 62 miles, but I only did, I don't know, probably 55 or no, a little more than that, probably 57, 58 of racing total. So like I said, really not much transfer section, just trails, which was good too because all I had on was a jersey, and every time we went on to these roads, I was freezing. Like, we got to the start of one section and Caleb Wood was only a couple rows ahead of me. And I was like, man, that wood's freezing, and that road was freezing. He said, yeah, me too. I was freezing on the road. I was like, oh yeah, what are you wearing under your jersey? He's like, chest protector, tank top, and 2 undershirts. What about you? And I didn't have anything under my jersey. I guess that's the New Jersey in me, but I was definitely cold on some of these roads.
Hey, the New Jersey in you. That's funny. So one thing about the enduros, which I felt bad for Ryder. Oh, here's the end of your section, by the way. Is that he doesn't get to really do it with his friends, but he does it with me, so it's fun for me at least, and somewhat fun for him, I guess. But this is my first year sitting out. Okay, of course of injury. Section 4, Class 2, 14th overall. Very good. Good section.
Yeah, this was definitely my best section of the day. I got second class, like it says, 14th overall. I believe this was the section after Travis Lentz had told me that we were only 10. Yeah, that was it. So I beat Travis the first 2 sections. He beat me the third section, and then he said, oh yeah, I was only 10 seconds off you. Like, I'm only 10 seconds off you on the day. And I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna put the hammer down. So this whole section, I was pushing hard. Probably used way too much energy, but yeah, if I could push like this all day, it'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, nice push. So I felt bad Ryder didn't have me to ride with. He was supposed to have this hot shoe, this guy who's leading the FTR series from Florida, which is a big series. He didn't show up. Brandy Richards didn't show up. But it turned out all his competitors, his youth competitors, which are now grown up, Caleb Wood, who else was there? There's Travis Lentz, and then there was a third person, right? Rivers Morris, right? We're all on the minutes in front of you. So at every section, when you're done, you mosey on to the next section. You got to hang out with them and kind of compare notes. So at least you had a good day in that respect.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm pretty glad that they were in front of me too. It felt like I had someone to chase rather than always being worried, like at the end of the section waiting, like, oh man, I feel like they came a lot sooner than a minute. Oh, there's a good little line over the logs. There's so many chances here where there was times I could go over a log or I could go to the side of it and they were similar speed. So many split-second decisions. And there was a couple logs, especially I know a guy on my row almost went over the handlebars because there was a couple logs on roots, or on whoops I should say, that just were covered in dirt that you couldn't see. And at the beginning of, it might have even been, no, it was section 2. At the beginning of section 2, we hit this log, I almost go over the handlebars, and then I hear the guy behind me just rev limiter for a minute, just because he almost went over the handlebars as well. Look, I almost hit a tree at the top of this. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I got scared, and
I think the whole video you look like you're almost going to hit a tree to me.
Yeah, well, I thought the trail was going right at the top of that hill. I don't know what made me think that, but it wasn't going right. Also, this is the end of, or somewhere in this section, it was so fast, so fast. I was like, man, we were flying, and like if something went wrong here.
Yeah, all it takes is one hidden route. Last year, your former trainer, Russell Bobbitt, was doing, I think it was this event. And man, at these speeds, it's not a broken arm or broken leg. It's like broken everything, concussion, dislocation. It could be bad. And that's pretty much what happened to Russell last year. He was out for a long time. And honestly, I wondered if he was even ever coming back. And he's back, which is great. But yeah, it just takes one hidden route.
Yep, now we're moving on to the next section, which would be section 4, I believe. Or section
5, yep.
I feel like most of these sections had a good combination of everything. There wasn't any section at this race that I thought was super tight. By the way, I got 3rd in my class this section, 15th overall. But I didn't feel like there was any section this whole day that was too tight or was too open. Like everything had a good mix of all the different terrains. And usually I like this open stuff like this the best, but I just felt like today I was getting beat up the whole time riding in the open stuff, just getting whipped with trees and stuff. And maybe it's because I was on an early minute that it wasn't really burnt in that bad, but I'm not sure.
That's funny you're calling this the open stuff. I wonder if anyone from West Coast is watching this.
Yeah, this would definitely not be open to a West Coast.
So as you can see in the top right hand corner, there's a Recluse logo. Ryder has been using Recluse for at least 5 years, and me at least 10. And I don't know what you know about Recluse, but they offer quite a few different options, whether it's auto clutch or more just durable clutch parts, clutch baskets, even slave cylinders that are more durable and or make your clutch pull easier. But what we love is the durability of them. They are ridiculously durable. And for most people, you're not going to ride 3 hours in axle deep mud with a paddle tire, but if you do and you have a Recluse, you don't have to worry about your clutch. So, as you may or may not know, the motorcycle industry is actually suffering now. It went from having its highs in 2018-19 in COVID to some very low years, and then the tariffs are making things tougher and for imports. And there's been a lot of cuts in the industry, and I wasn't sure where things were going between us and Yamaha, but we just heard back, and Ryder's going to be getting 250Fs. So now he's going to have everything. 125s, 250 2-strokes, 250 4-strokes, and we even have a 290 4-stroke. What do you think of that, Ryder? And of course, it's a Yamaha 290F.
Yeah, the 290 is super cool. I definitely love riding it. It doesn't have the top speed I'd really like, but it's an interesting bike, and I like the geometry of that old frame as well. This is section 6, 4th in class, and 17th overall, this is the last section of the day. And you're going to see a couple sketchy moments. I guess, I don't know if I didn't get tired, but it was definitely some sketchier parts in this moto, in this section.
What's funny is, I don't know if you're going to see me in this. I think you do. After I got done pitting for Ryder and I was heading back to the campground, which is kind of unique, that ride back. And by the way, we got some bonus footage after this that you're going to want to check out. As I'm driving back on the road, I see a bunch of people park on the side. So I go, oh, let me park on the side here and see if I could catch Ryder. But as far as I know, they could be on minute 80 or minute 2, or it could be a whole nother section. And I walk into the woods, and like 2 minutes later, he shows up. And I happen to see this really good line right there. And he shows up kind of behind 2 people. I don't know if they were getting ready to move or he's been stuck behind them for 5 minutes. I have no idea. But I ended up showing him this line, which you'll see in a minute. You let me know when, and it worked out really good. He made 2 passes and kept going. Another weird thing about this race, too, is it's right across the street from a bombing range, and we'll show you some clips on that a little bit after. Oh, that was pretty tight.
Yeah, I got stuck between those 2 trees, gave it gas, and my handlebars just wouldn't fit. I had to back up and just shove my right hand into the tree, and that was the only way to get through. Pretty much same thing right there too again.
So I have a question for everyone here. Years ago, I took a lesson with Jason Rains, who has turned out to since then be a really great mentor for me. And he was trying to teach me this technique where you would do a wheelie between the trees and cock your handlebars to the side so you can fit between tighter trees. That's a commitment I can't do. I cannot, do a wheelie and get between 2 trees that are too tight to actually ride through. But what I can do, and very rarely do this. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, what my dad was talking about earlier, where he pointed me that line, is going to come up pretty soon. You see right in front of me is River Morris, and then in front of him, I'm not exactly sure who it is, but as we come around a couple turns from now, I'm able to kind of make a pretty cool pass on both of them. So you're going to see that in a second.
Yeah, so, oh yeah, it's right here, because there's the road. Remember I said I was going down the road?
Yeah, definitely.
So back to what I was saying, I was never able to do that wheelie technique, but what I have been able to do a few times is to come into the turns really hot, pull the front brake in, slide the front wheel. Oh, by the way, please like, subscribe, and comment. Pull the front brake in really hard and slide the front wheel through and cock the handlebars sideways so you can get through trees that are too narrow. Are you able to do that, Ryder, or have you ever tried it?
I kept thinking about how you told me about this during the race, and I feel like that's only useful if you have a fast straightaway into some tight trees, and then fast again, because a lot of these sections were super tight trees, but then right after the tight trees you'd have a turn. So to wheelie and then pull the clutch back in and get back into the next turn, I felt like I'm not experienced enough to do. So I tried it once or twice, but I really couldn't do it.
So you tried the wheelie technique, not the sliding technique?
Yeah, the wheelie.
Yeah, I would never ever have the balls to do that. So, the last 2 years you missed this event. Last year you had Epstein Barr, and then the year before something got screwed up with our entries when we were trying to do it. We just said we're not going. But we'll show you a couple clips from his results 2 years ago, where I think you were in the 50s overall on your 85.
Yeah, no, it has been a while since we've come to this race. In a second you're going to see, never mind, I might have been lying. You're not going to see what I was talking about.
No problem.
Oh, here's Randy Hawkins, the team manager. Thankfully, I was able to go pretty quick past him. I definitely felt good in that section.
Hey, look, there's your nice Garmin watch. What's wrong with the screen?
Yeah, I know. Now you guys can finally see what we talked about earlier. The screen is definitely screwed up on my Garmin watch. I don't think it's fixable. I could barely read it, actually.
So the next National Enduro is in Oklahoma. That's really far. Is anyone going? I was kind of wondering who's going. So Garmin's watch tells him how many hours it'll take to recover from this event, or whatever event it is, whether it's running or bicycling or motorcycling. How long does your watch say, how many hours will it take to recover from this event?
Yeah, my watch said that it's going to take 96 hours to recover from this event, and honestly, I think it might take longer. I was so beat on the way home from this race, and still I am today. I feel like National Enduros is just about getting beat up for a couple hours straight. But that's never really happened to me after one event. It's usually something after, a couple days consecutive of working out hard that it'll say 96-hour recovery. But I haven't really worked out in a couple days prior to this race, and it said that, so it's a pretty big accomplishment, I guess.
So here's an interesting tidbit. Everyone uses kind of the open hand guards these days, but actually it wasn't too many years ago, maybe 4 years ago, Stu Baylor raced this event with the wraparound hand guards. I don't know what kind you guys are all using, or hey, let's get my Southern accent going, you all are using, but we're gravitated to the open hand guards now.
Yeah, definitely, and it has its pluses and minuses. My hands, I think pretty much everybody's hands are pretty chewed up from this weekend, so interesting, but there's another pretty good line right there. I think I was just following the guy in front of me, to be honest. I'm pretty sure he was taking that line. And then look, he takes another line right here, and I think he hurt his hand or something because he was like holding his hand off the bar. I don't know, hopefully he was all right. But I think I just have one more clip. Sadly, the GoPro, oh yeah, I just flew right over that berm, but sadly the GoPro, I'm not sure what happened at the end of the 6th moto, but it just stopped recording. But for the most part, I got most of the section. I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you in the next video.
Thank you. Here's some bonus footage if you're still with us.
Yep, bye.
So here's the top 10. You can freeze it if you want to pay closer attention to it, with Yamaha Liam Draper getting first. There's 823 entries. Here is the sign in front of the bombing range sign across the street from where we're racing. Only Enduros. Where do they allow Enduros to go on? Usually not in the highest desirable neighborhoods. Here's the entrance into the Enduro, so some of the homes in the neighborhood. Otherwise, they wouldn't allow it. Here's from exhaling all night moisture, our windows froze, and there's a bottle that was left outside overnight before that froze solid the night before the Enduro. Here's a picture of Ryder and his class results when he was on a 85. And here's me a few years later racing, and I wore a hole through my clutch cover, and the significance of that is that it spewed oil all over my brake pedal. I actually ended up later with a concussion, but not exactly from the oil. And
here's some pictures of me from other years at Sumter, but really...
On the 85?
Yeah, on my 85, but really I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.